Why I created the Conversuations sales methodology. So I'd spent 10 years running a CrossFit gym. And in that period of time, we worked with over 4,000 athletes, kids from 4 to 84. I mean, everyone in between, all different levels and abilities. And when you work with that kind of breadth of people, there isn't one model that actually works in terms of like helping someone achieve their health and fitness goals. There's a lot of variables that go into it. I mean, nutrition alone is individualized based on your blood work, your tolerances, your preferences, your history, right? Like all those things go into it. And so I had to find a way to actually coach people that was very client centric, meaning that they had to have kind of the control over what foods they wanted to eat, what they were willing to sort of maybe add to their diet or consider removing, what, if any, changes they even wanted to start making, right? If they felt like they even wanted to lose weight, or if they wanted to gain muscle, or if they just wanted to maintain where they were at and add a little bit of movement, right? Like there's so many different pieces that go into it that I found that most of the coaching I had learned was really designed around helping like one sort of person. And so when it came to, let's just stick with the nutrition example, came to nutrition, I had to sort of find a way to connect with people that allowed for them to be in control of what they wanted to focus on, what changes, if any, that they felt like they wanted to make, what were their personal reasons for making those changes, and what would they be sort of willing to do to actually have those changes be real and maintain for the long term so that they could get the most benefit out of them, right? And what I had found was a process of connecting with people that really allowed for me to do that. And it's based on sort of three principles, right? Or rather three sort of styles of connecting with someone. The first one is kind of like following, right? So when you give someone an opportunity to sort of express what they want, why they want it, why they're thinking about doing it now, what options they would consider doing, right? What they wouldn't consider doing, those sorts of things. That's really a following kind of leadership style. I know it's kind of a weird, but good leaders are also good followers. And the second one then is more guiding, right? So sometimes people come to me and they kind of knew they wanted to change, but they didn't know like that process of like how to actually get themselves to a point where they had enough clarity around making that change that they could even pick an option, right? If they so chose. The last one would be more directing, right? And this is kind of where you put yourself in a position where you are you're not using leading questions, but you're more giving them the framework of how to think about things to help them put themselves in a better position, right? And what I found is it was very successful. I mean, when you give people control, there's been studies done that show when people are ambivalent about change, right? When they have kind of mixed emotions around it, the fastest way for them to work through that is having a neutral party sort of be able to connect the dots on all the things that they would need to get clarity on to make a change. Now, what I found though, and what I ran up against is that when I was signing people up to come into the gym, all the sales training I had learned was not that way. It was very, very different. It was very pointed at like fake urgency, right? Like, oh, you have to buy now. There's only so many spots, or this discount's running out, or whatever it is, right? Like it wasn't authentic, and you just don't know what you don't know. So when I got into business and I first learned sales, I spent $1,000 on Grant Cardone's holiday special back in the day, and it's just it's a very like old school sales style, right? Like there's high pressure, there's fast talking, there's a lot of words to say back to somebody when they give you, let's say, an objection of some kind. And so the issue is that I was using this style on the front side of my business to get people in the door. And then when I was attempting to help them make changes for their lifestyle, their health, their fitness in the long term, after the sale, it was like I didn't have the trust I needed because they felt like they were sold to on the front side. Now, again, they bought, so they were in it, right? But there wasn't the level of trust that I felt was needed for them to be truly open and transparent and vulnerable that allowed for me as a coach to help them get the clarity they needed to make the long-term changes. So it put me in a position where like I felt kind of stuck, like I wasn't able to help them at the level that I knew I could actually help them. So I asked myself one day, I was like, and fast forward, right? So then I got into high ticket sales and I learned a bunch of different stuff over the last 7 years, taken tons of courses, all the top people, done a ton of training. And what I found is that, a lot of them, the best salespeople on the planet, they don't get a lot of real hard objections at the end. They don't just say words when someone gives them an objection. They're really good at listening to people and helping them get clear before the sale so that they actually prevent objections, right? And it allows people to have that control in the changes they want to make and where they want to go. And I saw a lot of similarities there with, health and fitness coaching. So what I had done is I'd asked myself, like, well, what would it look like if I brought that coaching structure forward and actually used that kind of a framework on the sales side of things so that not only can I build massive trust, but I can help them authentically make a decision to change their life and for fitness or health or whatever it is. But then I have that same trust established now when I go to actually help them make those changes and walk them through the actual challenging details of what it means to eat different foods, move differently, give up bad habits, take on new challenges, right? Like those sorts of things. And I found that it worked really, really well and it built really good relationships with people. So what I realized is that if I'm not able to bring this to other coaches, right, especially coaches or just small business owners who they have maybe a consulting service or a package or a product that can radically help improve people's lives, that I'm actually missing my opportunity to share what I've done for the last 7 years now and help more people actually sell the things that improve people's lives. Because if you are a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're a service provider, and you do something that actually helps somebody change their life in a massive way, you should not have to struggle to sell the things that actually help people. So that's where I had created the Conversuations sales methodology. Right now, we've interwoven it into our Sales Accelerator program, which is the fastest path to yes. We can establish a sales structure in your business that matches up sort of the buyer journey of your ideal client and give you the actual scripting frameworks, everything you need to do, plus the daily training that allows for you to have the confidence to connect with the right people, get them into that sales structure, advance them to a close, and handle their objections with confidence. And we do that every single day. So if that's something that you find might be related to what you could use to make more sales, to not have to struggle to actually sell your products and services, or if you just kind of feel like maybe you're missing out on sales you should make and you're not sure why, reach out. Love to help you get clear. Cheers.